So what's up? Welcome to another review, another movie. We just did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, so it's only fair that I'm doing Get Him to the Greek. Get Him to the Greek again is a movie I love. It's a movie I watched over 20 times. The reason why is because at a time when I didn't want to work, I had it for $5, and it was one only comedy I had. Again, a phenomenal movie. We got this guy who's work. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, we had I don't know. It's a direct under direct. It's in the same universe as Forgetting Sarah Marshall, one of my favorite movie. So we had this guy, Jonah Hill, who's a big fan of music, and he's working for a company who you see they don't really like music. They just want to make money. They want to make a business, right? We got P Diddy, who is the manager, and he's talking about how many albums they sell. And it's sad because right in the beginning we had this other guy played by Nick Kroll, and he's like, "Yo, I came up with this fucking artist, this amazing artist, right?" And he's an artist that he really likes. And then the manager's like, "How many albums did you sell?" And I understand that you need to sell, that's a business, but still, it should be about the love of music, not the love of cash. And I think this is a trap we fall under often, very often. And it's really cool saying this because we're having this moment where we have the main actor. So the main actor is Jonah Hill, right? And he's like, "Oh, what about you? What's your ID?" So we talk about Al Snow, how he was a big thing, and he hasn't produced an album. So the movie opened up. I'm going to talk about the movie opening up because I should have done before. Al Snow, which is the musician we just talked about, being on top of his career, having a girlfriend, which is Jackie Q. I love that they created this band for the movie, which is the band of the Snow, and they're a really good song. There's really good song on the soundtrack. You should check out the soundtrack. Also, if you're interested in getting to the Greek, and he makes this album, and nobody likes the album. Everybody's like, "Oh, he doesn't like it." So we have the breakup, and it's funny because we're seeing the downfall of Aldo Snow like years later. How the album failure affected him, how he affected the marriage with Jackie Q. And it's also cool because Jackie Q, she has some songs. So yes, the movie is about Jonah Hill and Aldo Snow, but there's still this universe around it, and this album and this universe follows. Surrounding him is also Jackie Q. Jackie Q, she's super popular. She still make amazing music. There's some song of her around the posy. It's really sexually suggestive, so it's kind of cool saying that. Oh, she completely changed. Aldo Snow, he's no longer the man he wants to be. We have the Jonah Hill who has his girlfriend, and it's kind of funny because he has a relationship, and the relationship is having a problem, and Aldo Snow is a guy who had a relationship that also had problems. So it's kind of the first thing they really connect about, right? And we have this Jonah Hill, which his girlfriend is a nurse, and she's working a lot of the overtime. So he's feeling problems. She's working a lot of time for hours about something she's passionate about, but she's working too much. And he's working for something that he's passionate about, but he's not. They're not letting him express himself. So there's a really cool scene between Jonah Hill and P Diddy. How about they talk about Aldo Snow. The idea for Aldo Snow worked. The ticket sold. It was a brilliant idea. So Jonah Hill should be taking care of it. There's a cool moment where they're talking about getting his mind fucked and making sure that he likes, because Aldo Snow is a junkie, making sure that he's not sober because people they want him on drugs, but you cannot lose control over the drug. This is a real cool moment where PDD is like, you gotta fuck his brain. And then Jonah is like, "Yo, I hope you have a condom because I got a pretty filthy mind." So it's super cool. We had this relationship between Jonah Hill and Aldo at starts where Aldo doesn't give a single shit about Jonah. He has this chance to revive his career. He's gonna take it. If you have to use Jonah Hill, he doesn't mind about using Jonah Hill. So I think that's kind of like a tough situation to be in. However, we understand that the reason why he's like that is because he's been hurt. Because you feel like nobody had his back. Like even his mom, his father's trying to use him in a movie. His mom, she doesn't care about his career. She just wants him to be at home. She want to be a mother to her son. We see Aldo Snow as this big character who's in a lot of pain, and Jonah Hill who's a fanboy. And I think that the movie is amazing because we all have celebrity, and they say don't meet your celebrities. And Jonah Hill is meeting this guy who's broken and get abused. And there's a moment where Jonah Hill's like, "No, you're not gonna longer abuse me." And the fact that he stand up to Aldous, because although Aldous, I know I've said a lot of people don't care about him. Doesn't have a lot of people that care about him in his life, but he has a lot of yes men. So they say, "Oh, your music is good, your everything you did is good," and that's why when he asked Jonah, "Hey, what was wrong with African Child?" and I tells him, it really hurts him because nobody has told him that before, but Jonah Hill was able to tell him. So the movie is a lot about drugs, a lot about drugs because we know Aldous again is a junkie and he's taking Jonah Hill and his universe, but it's also about two broken people. We're seeing how Jonah he misses his girlfriend, his recent breakup, and Aldous, who's also missing his ex-wife. We see Jonah Hill, who Aldous starts to like because he really take good care of him, and he really cares about Aldous. So we're seeing this relationship that ends with Jonah Hill being the manager, and the movie is so good because again we're thrown into this world of this guy who we worship, right, which is Aldous Snow, and we see him do drugs and get wasting his talent, and it's kind of cool because in this movie I feel like you're supposed to be Jonah Hill. I feel like you're supposed to be this guy who's meeting his idol, and oh my god, it's so cool. I can't believe I got this chance to meet my idol. And then you realize that the idol's a fuck up. But what is good about the movie is they do show why. Again, his father takes advantage of him. Again, he meets Sergio, which is P Diddy, and he clearly don't give a shit about Aldous. Then you got Jonah, who does give a shit, and Aldous like, wow, this guy has my back. And then Jonah, on Jonah's side, he understand why the guy is so fucked up. He understand why, he gives the advice of not using African Child and using his old song, right? And he's and Aldous he doesn't like to do that. But when he listened to Jonah, it actually works. The whole movie called him get him to the Greek. Greek is the Greek theater, so it's about getting the guy to the Greek theater, and it's about the trip. It's more about two grown people trying to help each other. There's a lot of time where Aldous actually cared for Jonah. It's like, yo, your girlfriend she broke up with you. I'm gonna help you get your mind over it. And Jonah actually care about his career. It's like, yo, no, don't do that. Don't do that. This is shit. And I think it's really cool because how many of your friend don't care enough to tell you, hey, you're fucking up? How many of your friend are never gonna tell you, hey, you're fucking up? I think the role of being a friend is telling another friend, like, bro, this is not good. And I think it's to me the best part about this movie is again is Jonah being a fan and being able to see is a shifting, right? There's evolution, there's clear evolution. Jonah, he realized that his girlfriend, he misses her, and all this by seeing that, he's like, yo, you gotta work things out. There's this amazing moment where Aldous is calling his ex-girlfriend, and the way the movie presented, it's like, yeah, I'm in this old flat. We have a lot of painting together. We have a lot of picture together. I do miss you. He watched tape of her. Maybe take it over. But the reason why he might miss her is I think that's because you see Jonah trying to solve things with his girlfriend. I think the two people, although one is very famous, one is a simple guy. I think they have this respect for each other. It's about also evolving. It's about yes, there is a goal at the very end, but it's the journey. The movie Get Him to the Greek is about the journey. Yes, there's a beginning, there's this angle, but the way we go along the way. And it's funny because Jonah, he tells, to motivate Aldous to go, he tells him about his father, knowing his father's a fucking dickhead. And it sucks because then Jonah, he realized he fucks it up. He never said, hey, I'm sorry, but he fucked it up. And he's like, well, guess what? I did a mistake and I do apologize. So again, it's a super good movie. It's a fantastic movie. I think it's funny. I think there's a lot of drug abuse. I think the drug thing can be overwhelming, I guess. Because when you watch a movie a lot of time, you realize that most of the movies about drugs, but Aldous is a junkie, and we're being shown again. If I'm right, and we're supposed to be Jonah Hill, we're thrown into a world. Jonah doesn't take drugs. We're thrown into a world where there's this guy where we're having to take care of, and he's always on drugs. So we're being pushed into a world, and yes, it's overwhelming. But again, we're not supposed to be used to it because we're just normal guy. At the end, we have Jonah Hill becomes a manager. He works things out with his relationship. Others become clean, and good for him. And it's a really good movie. You should watch it out. Watch the soundtrack also. It's really good. It's a musical movie, so that they had a solid soundtrack is helping it to feel real. And if a movie feels real, good. There's this small complaint I have. It feels like Jonah Hill and Russell Brand became really close friends for this movie, and the documentary and the commentary. It didn't feel that way, so I feel bad for Jonah. But what can we do?